17, Illinois State with a 2-point lead, and the Sycamores with the basketball. It's Howard with Guidry on him. The Redbirds stay in their man-to-man defense. And a quick shot by Brorman. A three is up and no good, and tipped back out by Howard.
Yeah, good box out that time by Guidry. Just a long rebound, and Howard, more athletic ability, just jumped up in the air over the top of Guidry and was able to tip that ball out.
Matt Brorman, who took that last three, has attempted 53 shots this year, and all but 3 have been three-pointers. He just makes his living at the perimeter.
And even all 10 of his shots he's taken in the Valley have all been from that range.
Short shot that time is no good by Green and cleared by the Redbirds. Guidry looks inside for Bojang, but instead skips it around, and now it's Green. Redbirds have had a difficult time getting the ball down low. Burris short turnaround is down, and Chris Burris has 6 points.
And that's a big-time move right there by Chris Burris. He caught the ball, and as he was catching it, he squared up. You really get an advantage against your defender getting in that triple threat position, being able to pass, shoot, or dribble the ball, and he was able to knock down the big shot.
Marcus Howard tries to answer his shot, rims out, and Burris aboard. How about the play of Chris Burris? He's averaging only 1.6 points and 1.9 rebounds a game. He already has 6 points and 3 rebounds during the first half.
And then also on that play, made a good screen to free up Greg Alexander. So Chris Burris really into the ball game here tonight.
But a foul is going to be called on Bojang as he was fighting for that offensive rebound. And that's his second foul, so we'll have some free throws coming down the other end of the floor. Some substitutions now coming in. Dana Ford returns for the Redbirds. Meanwhile, for Indiana State, Antoine is back in, and Jake Sams checks in for the first time. The sophomore from Mount Zion, his brother Michael Sams, is recruited by Illinois State and will be a Redbird next fall.
And former teammate as well, going to be eligible next year for the Birds.
Yeah, Neil Plank, that's right.
Neil Plank transferred from Wisconsin, so you got a lot of Mount Zion connection in this ball game for Illinois State and Indiana State.
So Moss, who's an 82% free throw shooter, the highest scoring freshman in the Missouri Valley Conference, makes good. He's averaging 12.2 points a game, and if he hits this free throw, he'll already be at his average of 12 points here in the first half. But he misses, and Strand marked the rebound. So it's a 3-point Redbird lead, 28, or I should say 21-18. 3.5 to go here in the opening half.
In that matchup between Moss and Ford outside, two outstanding players in the state of Illinois last year in the high school ranks.
Green gives it up to Burris, who drives, who scores, and draws the foul. Chris Burris is having a terrific first half.
I tell you what, and I love to see that out of Chris Burris. He's a kid, as a good-looking freshman coming into Illinois State. He's probably been a little frustrated, but getting his minutes today, this play just takes it up strong, was able to connect. He has 8 points in the ball game, now going to the free throw line to try to finish off a 3-point play.
Burris, one of 12 children in a very large family. His sister, Alyssa, is a pro basketball player in the WNBA with the Portland Fire. So you can see that basketball is a big thing in the Burris household. He missed the free throw, but Chris Burris, again, with an aggressive first half, has played very well for Illinois State. Now Moss, another freshman, misses for Indiana State, and Strandmark, another defensive board. Green penetrates, kick out now to Alexander. Under 3 minutes to go here in the first half. 5-point Illinois State lead. Alexander double teamed. He lost the dribble, gave it up to Green, works the baseline, tried to get it to Burris. Ball on the floor, and it's Moss that comes away with it for the Sycamores. That's the 8th Redbird turnover.
Yeah, and that time Green tried to force it, but he went the wrong way around the defender. Had he gone around the baseline side, I think he could have bounced it into Burris, but tried to take it on the lane side and just had too many bodies in there.
Bank shot that time by Adler is no good.
And that was really creative because Strandmark did get up in the air that time, a hand up by the ball, and Adler had to release it even higher than he had wanted.
Burris on Adler now. Takes it right to the basket. Stripped that time. Adler came over on help side and came away with a block. Ball out of bounds. Redbirds will maintain possession. When we come back, 2:07 to go till halftime. Redbirds with a 5-point lead. It's Illinois State 23, Indiana State 18.
This is my country. These are my people. This is the world I understand.
It's not just talking about service. It's really knowing the people we serve.
I know them like the back of my own hand.
Country Insurance and Financial Services. Real people, real answers, real quick.
It's the 17th Annual Central Illinois Boat and Water Recreation Show, sponsored by Southside Bank, February 14th, 15th, and 16th at the Peoria Civic Center.
Carrier's Weathermaker Infinity is the world's most totally efficient gas furnace. With our exclusive Comfort Heat technology, it can save you up to 40% on your home heating costs.
Start saving today. Call your Carrier dealer in Bloomington. Mayo Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. For quality products and services, it's Mayo Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. 715 East Empire in Bloomington. Call 828-7906.
Carrier, 100 years of innovation.
Hi, I'm Amy Paul from News Channel 31. Get a taste of Mardi Gras right here in Central Illinois at the Carnival on Saturday, February 8th. All proceeds will benefit the Multiple Sclerosis Society. Call and get your tickets today.
City mattress for a good night.
Folks looking for third-round coverage of the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. We're preempting it for Illinois State basketball. Set your VCRs tonight, 2:35 a.m. We'll show you third-round coverage from Malibu in the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am tonight here on WMD News Channel 31, 2:35 a.m. We will carry live coverage of that final round tomorrow afternoon.
And Marcus Arnold checked back in for Chris Burris. What an outstanding effort by Burris while he was in there with 8 points.
And there's Marcus Howard coming up with a block shot and clearing. That's the reason why Bruce Weber of Southern Illinois has called Howard the best defensive player in the league.
Well, and he's showing it tonight, or this afternoon. He's already got a big steal and then a big block that time on Guidry.
And now he's got a chance to knock down a big shot from the outside. He missed the three, and the long rebound goes out now to Ford, who kicks over to Vince Green. 3-on-3, no advantage there, so we'll kick it back out to Ford. Lob down low from Strandmark to Arnold, ball out of bounds to the Redbirds, it appears, yes.
Well, there's a lot of contact that time. Jake Sams really had Arnold's left arm pinned down to his side as the Strandmark tried to hit Arnold in with the pass over the top. Just couldn't get both hands up to catch the ball.
1:33 to go here in this first half. The Redbirds took their first lead at 9-7 and have not given it back up since. There was a tie at one point at 15, but the Redbirds have a 5-point advantage. 7 on the shot clock. Guidry to Arnold, lost the ball, got it back, shot it up and in.
Great hands that time by Arnold. Pass was almost behind his head that time by Guidry as he cut through the bucket, but again with about 7 seconds on the shot clock before they really got it to attacking the basket. Great conversion that time by Arnold.
And now we're under a minute here in this very fast first half. It's a 7-point Illinois State lead, the largest of the game for either squad. Here's Moss, stutter step around Ford. Kicks it off, decent from the corner. His baseline jumper's no good. Tipped up and in that time, however, by Jake Sams.
Yeah, that really was created because Strandmark tried to take the charge, and I thought he might have gotten it that time down the lane. And since he was on the floor, nobody was blocking out Jake Sams. He had the easy tip in.
So Sams, the sophomore from Mount Zion, is on the board with his first points of the afternoon. It's back to a 5-point game. There's a 5-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. The Redbirds now with 10 seconds left on the shot clock and 15 and a half. Green draws a double team. 5 to shoot now. Guidry looking for help. And it's stripped that time. It's Moss who comes away with it. Now Indiana State a chance to score at the buzzer. Antoine's three is missed. And so neither team could convert on their final possession. And the Redbirds head to halftime with a 5-point lead. Illinois State 25 and Indiana State 20. We've played 20 minutes of action here at Redbird Arena in Normal.
When I joined SEVCU, all I needed was a car loan. Now we've got the house, a bigger car. Seems like it's always something. But SEVCU is always right there with the right loan. It's that whole borrow smarter thing. Somehow they make it all happen without making it a hassle. Now how they do it, I don't know. But I do know why.
Best price.
See clearly.
2 for 1. Surgically improving your vision has become very popular, but is price your most important concern? Find out what you are buying. Our follow-up visits included. What if additional procedures are required? You may find yourself on a surgical assembly line, or you can have the personal care from a doctor you know and trust. When it comes to your eyes, Don't compromise. The best bargain may not be your best bet.
Why Amish-made furniture? Handcrafted solid oak furniture. It's solid value at an affordable price from your neighbors at Whitaker's Country Oak Shop in Hudson, Illinois. Whitaker's chooses only the best home furnishings from over 70 Amish craftsmen to fill their 20,000 square foot showroom. It's beauty that will last a lifetime. For the largest selection of Amish-made furniture in the Midwest, stop by Whitaker's Country Oak Shop in Hudson, Illinois, just 5 minutes from Normal.
AirTran Airways from the Central Illinois Regional Airport at Bloomington Normal, the only airline in Central Illinois offering affordable airfares, full-size jets, and business class upgrades. Find out more at www.cira.com or 1-800-AirTran.
We are often asked why we chose to become lawyers. Our answer is we became lawyers to help people at a time when they need us most.
At the end of the day, all of us work to make a better life for our families. We work to help people in their time of need.
If you or your family are injured in an accident, you need honest advice from attorneys who are trained to protect your rights.
At Parker & Halliday, we have the experience to answer your legal questions, and we will represent you with honesty and with integrity.
Turn clutter from this into this with Rubbermaid organizers from Menards, featuring free sliding wire shelving. This model for closets up to 8 feet wide is $14.98 after $5 rebate. This deluxe organizer for closets up to 10 feet wide is $39.99 after rebate. For basements, utility rooms, and closets, check out these rounded edge pre-finished shelf boards on sale in 3 widths and lengths starting at $2.88 each. Store it and save at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
AirTran Airways from the Central Illinois Regional Airport at Bloomington Normal, the only airline in Central Illinois offering affordable airfares, full-size jets, and business class upgrades. Find out more at www.cira.com or 1-800-AirTran.
Halftime at Redbird Arena, Illinois State with a 5-point lead over the Indiana State Sycamores, 25-20. Kurt Pegler, Matt Taphorn back with you. We talked a lot about the freshman making an impact. We thought that David Moss would do it for Indiana State. We didn't know that Chris Burris would do it for Illinois State.
Absolutely. What a tremendous first half by Chris Burris. He had six minutes of play and had 8 points and 4 rebounds. Just outstanding effort. But David Moss, you can see why he's one of the best freshmen in the Valley. Had 11 points in the first half. Just such a smooth player. And defensive here at Indiana State, the thing keeping them in there, they are putting pressure on the floor. They've got 7 steals in the ball game, 9 turnovers for the Redbirds.
We'll step away. When we come back, we'll hear from Todd Reeser about the Investing in Champions program going on here at Illinois State. Redbirds with a 5-point halftime lead, 25-20.
Are you going to make that call?
When you call Country Insurance and Financial Services, the unexpected will happen.
Hello, thank you for calling Country.
Hello? Who's this?
You'll actually talk to a real person.
I didn't think you'd answer this quickly.
Country Insurance and Financial Services. Real people, real answers, real quick.
This is my country.
This week, your Greater Peoria Area Crime Stoppers, serving Peoria, Tazewell, and Woodford counties, takes you to Peoria, Illinois, where we focus on an armed robbery. On December 22nd, 2002, Peoria police responded to Bellacino's, 1200 Main Street, on an armed robbery. The victim told officers he was alone in Bellacino's when he heard a loud knock at the back door. When he opened the door, a black male ran in and pointed a small handgun at his face. The suspect demanded money, forced the victim into the office, and made him open the safe. With the safe open, the suspect taped the victim to a chair, took 3 money bags from the safe and the victim's leather coat, and left the business via the back door. The suspect is described as a black male, approximately 5'4", 150 pounds, wearing a black and gray plaid flannel shirt and blue pants. I'm Officer Ann Ruggles. Crime Stoppers will pay $1,000 for information received this week, leading to the arrest and indictment of this criminal. If you have any information on any serious crime or wanted fugitive, call Crime Stoppers at 673-9000 or 347-9000. You will remain anonymous and be eligible for a cash reward.
You can't control the markets, but you can control the course of your financial future. A comprehensive financial plan can provide a clear path to your financial goals. That's where Baird Wealth Management comes in. We evaluate your situation and partner with you to develop strategic solutions to help you meet your investment needs. We provide the services and advice to help keep your portfolio diversified and on track. Take control of your financial future. Call me, Matt Taphorn, today at 676-4160.
A simple joy here in Central Illinois. You got to share. Spirit of the heartland.
Think what would happen to your pets if something happened to you. The ASPCA already has. They have everything that you need to know about emergency pet preparedness right on their website. And remember, there is no better friend you can have than a pet you adopt at a local animal shelter. If you love animals as much as I do, you will want them to have a long and happy life. Right, Chelsea?
Was born in the early... Back at Redbird Arena halftime, Illinois State with the 25-20 lead over the Indiana State Sycamores, and we're joined now by Todd Reeser, Assistant Athletics Director here at Illinois State. I know things are exciting around here these days, Todd, mainly because of the Investing in Champions project that you have ongoing here at Redbird Arena. Why don't you tell us about it?
Oh, absolutely. It's been something that several of us have been working on to get to a point where 10 days ago we were actually pouring concrete in this facility. And Redbird Arena is a fantastic facility. We call it New Redbird Arena, but we are 13 years old now, and it's got some incomplete areas where we feel like we can maximize this building, and we've moved into a space where now we're pouring concrete, and we're looking to really build upon that momentum that's presented us with.
And what we're seeing here are some of the drawings and the blueprints of the projections. It's going to have a strength and conditioning room, a new one, and you're going to build a Hall of Fame here at Redbird Arena too, right?
Oh, absolutely. The Strength and Conditioning Center is critical for all of our programs, all of our 350 student athletes, in order to get them here and to attract them to Illinois State and then to make them bigger, faster, stronger. But tied into that, we do have a couple other areas, and one of the areas that's just so critical is also the Hall of Fame, the heritage of our program. And we've had a tremendous heritage, and we want to show that off, and right now we don't have a space to do that.
Thanks for the visit. Good luck on this project. We know those things don't happen overnight. There's a lot of hard work involved.
There's a lot of hard work, and it takes a lot of people's involvement, and we're excited to be able to extend this opportunity to them.
Great. Todd Reeser, the Assistant Athletics Director here at ISU, talking about the Investing in Champions. Right now, the Redbirds with a 5-point lead. When we come back, Illinois State football All-American Boomer Grigsby will join us. Stay tuned.
It's the 17th Annual Central Illinois Boat and Water Recreation Show, sponsored by Southside Bank, February 14th, 15th, and 16th at the Peoria Civic Center.
The biggest, the best, it's Beers and Beyond. America's best warranty and America's biggest finance offer here at John Beers Suzuki. 0 down, 0 interest, plus a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Like these new Suzuki SUVs, the Grand Vitara, the XL7, and the Vitara 4-door. So call or come in, because no one comes close to Beers. John Beers Suzuki in Washington.
If you could see plaque clogging your arteries, you'd floss them. If you could see a cramped heart muscle, you'd massage it. If you could see a blood clot, you'd wash it out. If you could see inside yourself, you'd talk to your doctor about heart disease. It's the #1 killer of women. To learn more, call this number.
All over America, people are taking the National Radon Test. Have you?
You put me on the spot.
Have you heard of radon?
I never thought about it. I don't know.
I think it's a secret killer or a silent killer.
Poison gas that seeps into the house.
That's one of the tests we did with the inspector before buying the home.
Why worry about it?
Why worry? Take the National Radon Test. True or false? Radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer.
True. I'd say false.
No, it's true.
I thought of cigarettes and then pollution.
That's something new to me.
Radon can penetrate a concrete block.
It's false.
False? False?
It's true.
I wouldn't know how they could protect you from that.
It's scary.
The Office of the Surgeon General recommends all homes be tested for radon.
False?
It's true.
True?
I should know about it because I worked in the hospital for many years.
That's bad. We should get our house tested.
Sure, I'm going to call it.
I'm definitely going to call. I mean, how can you not call? We must rid our house of radon.
R-A-D-O-N.
Taco Bell's new Monterey Chicken Quesadilla combines 2 tastes so tempting, it might trigger a Monterey matchup. The Monterey Chicken Quesadilla. Rich Monterey Jack cheese meets spicy pepper jack. Melted together over all white meat chicken. For the new Monterey Chicken Quesadilla, think outside the bun.
These are the final days to save piles of cash on some nicely styled bedroom furniture, because these are the final days of Bedroom Expression's Factory Direct Special Purchase. Right now, we're stocked with incredible deals that we've negotiated with manufacturers who have excess inventory. Like this queen-size bed, now only $419. Or this bed with a tan rug finish, now only $338. Or get this 5-piece oak room group, now just $913. Plus, get no payments and no interest for 1 full year. Save now. Monday is the last day of Bedroom Expression's Factory Direct Special Purchase.
Halftime at Redbird Arena, Illinois State 25 and Indiana State 20. We are now joined courtside by Boomer Grigsby from Canton, the Illinois State football All-American, who this past year set the NCAA record for tackles in a season regardless of division. Congratulations on that. That's quite a record to have. And what does that mean to carry around such a mantle like that?
I can't believe how it all worked out, to be quite honest with you. I mean, I was just playing the game. Like, my coaches put me in a position to make a lot of plays, and I had a real solid defense around me. And I mean, I guess when the season got over, we just looked back and added them all up.
Yeah, I know that you are excited about this upcoming season. 25 new recruits signed this past week for Illinois State football. You got to be excited about that.
Wait, we got quite a recruiting class. We pretty much got every single guy that we wanted. I mean, if we offered them on the table, then they came here. We had some guys pass on some real big schools and pass on other schools in our conference to come here. Illinois State's a great school to sell, and especially with our new weight room facility. That's getting ready to take off, so everybody's really excited about that.
Are you excited about the direction that the football program is headed in?
Most definitely. The sky's the limit here. We got a lot of young guys, but just now this year it feels like it's completely Coach Johnson's team. It's completely all of his recruits, and we've really molded the family together. And with the recruiting class he brought in this year, there's no excuses.
I know there's going to be a lot of weight put on your shoulders coming back as the top defensive player in the conference and one of the top defensive players in the league, but I think you like that leadership role, don't you?
Oh, definitely. I mean, you raise the play, to the standards that people set for you, too. And I mean, with a little bit of pressure and a little bit of heat, it'll make me work a little bit harder in the offseason, try to take control of my teammates, try to lead us to Chattanooga.
Well, good luck this offseason and best of luck in the fall, all right?
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Boomer Grigsby, ISU football All-American. Back for the second half. Redbirds lead by 5, 25-20.
Carrier's Weathermaker Infinity is the world's most totally efficient gas furnace. With our exclusive Comfort Heat technology, it can save you up to 40% on your home heating costs.
Start saving today. Call your Carrier dealer in Bloomington. Mayo Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. For quality products and services, it's Mayo Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. 715 East Empire in Bloomington. Call 828-7906.
Carrier. 100 years of innovation.
At News Channel 31, we're making a difference for you. We keep you up to date on news and weather throughout the day on 95.5 GLO, Peoria's classic rock. Listen for the latest news from News Channel 31's Bob Larson and Amy Paul. Plus, Chuck Collins gives you the latest weather where you live, combining resources to keep you informed throughout the day. In your car or on your TV, only from News Channel 31 and 95.5 GLO, Peoria's classic rock.
It's the 17th Annual Central Illinois Boat and Water Recreation Show, sponsored by Southside Bank, February 14th, 15th, and 16th at the Peoria Civic Center.
My mommy has multiple sclerosis. Multiple sclerosis.
If you think it's hard to say, imagine living with the debilitating effects of multiple sclerosis. There's no cure, but there is help. We're the National Multiple Sclerosis Society.
City mattress for a good night.
You can't control the markets, but you can control the course of your financial future. A comprehensive financial plan can provide a clear path to your financial goals. That's where Baird Wealth Management comes in. We evaluate your situation and partner with you to develop strategic solutions to help you meet your investment needs. We provide the services and advice to help keep your portfolio diversified and on track. Take control of your financial future. Call me, Matt Taphorn, today at 676-4160.
We remind you that our next televised game here on CBS 31 will be the 1st of March when these two teams meet in Terre Haute at the Holman Center. With the Illinois State and Indiana State, that'll be a 1 o'clock tip time, 1st of March, right prior to the Missouri Valley Conference Tournament. That's our next televised game here on News Channel 31. Right now, Illinois State leads at half, 25-20. The Redbirds doing a nice job in really recovering from a very slow start.
Well, two categories. They're shooting the ball well, 45% versus 32% for Indiana State, and they're rebounding well, 19-12 advantage to the Birds.
And the Redbirds open the second half with the basketball in the 5-point lead. Redbirds in the home white with the red trim. Indiana State in the road blues with the white and black trim. Green looks inside to Bojang. Turnaround jumper high off the glass is good. And Bojang, who started the game with a pair of free throws, gets his first field goal of the night.
A nice soft touch on the turnaround around that time by Bojang. Geeson guarding him inside, has a bad leg from a knee injury from 2 years ago that kept him out of action all of last season. And he's a little bit outmatched inside against Bojang.
The near steal that time by Guidry right in front of us as they trapped at the timeline. Yeah, the fact that Brian Geeson is even playing, he only played 4 games 2 years ago, missed the rest of the season and all of last season rehabbing a knee injury. That's him with the basketball, spinning on Bojang, looking for the shot. He puts up the shot and he scores.
They just go against each other to the start of the half here. Geeson that time, nice little up and under move against Bojang. He was able to get it to go down off the glass.
Yeah, blew out his knee 2 years ago in the 4th game of the year. An historic victory, a 1-point win over Indiana in Terre Haute. It kind of propelled the Sycamores to an NCAA tournament year. But he missed the rest of the season and all of last year with that knee injury. And back now, and now a whistle is going to be on Indiana State.
Looks like this call is going to be good against Jake Sams, against Marcus Arnold, trying to post up inside. Got a lot of action as Bojang takes a shot, and again, Arnold and Jake Sams got tied up, and the foul went against Sams. Birds get possession out of bounds underneath the basket.
So that's the first team foul on the Sycamores in this half. In fact, the first foul in the half, and the Redbirds turn the ball over that time.
And that's turnover against Vince Greeno, his 4th in the ball game. Done a good job of getting his shot opportunities, but hasn't done a very good job taking care of the ball from the point guard position.
Antoine works on Bojang. There's a mismatch someplace, flips it out to Jake Sams, who cuts down the lane, missed the shot, and Arnold clears for the Redbirds, and he's fouled in the backcourt.
A good execution that time by Indiana State with the Sams coming down the lane, just unable to hit the shot coming down. A little one-handed floater inside the lane. But a mismatch that time as Bojang was trying to guard Wilford out on the floor. Really created that shot opportunity by the Sycamores.
Geeson whistled for his 3rd foul. Second team foul against the Sycamores in this half. We played just about 2 minutes. Redbirds started the half with a 5-point lead and still have a 5-point lead. It's 27-22. Arnold looks down low to Bojang, but it's tipped out by Geeson, still up in the air, and tipped out and controlled by Green. There's still some time left on the shot clock, 14 seconds and counting. Arnold left open from 12 feet.
He's got such a nice soft touch from that 10 to 12, even 15-foot range. Very tough to guard as the freshman out of Chicago.
And so Marcus Arnold shoots home his first basket of the afternoon.
Well, I was looking at the shot clock. As soon as he crossed half court, 25 seconds was on the clock.
And Geeson lays that ball in down low. So he's got his team's 4 second half points. It's still a 5-point Illinois State lead at 29-24.
Geeson was without a basket or without a point in the first half, so he's come out and given the Sycamores a little shot in the arm.
Trey Guidry's been relatively quiet for the Redbirds this afternoon. That's him with the basketball. He puts up a shot, short. Bojang, offensive board, stick it back in.
Good offensive putback. Little offense, balanced shot that time by Guidry. Trying to get something going offensively. May have forced one there, but Bojang was there to clean it up.
And now the Redbirds trap. And it could be a turnover against the Sycamores, and it is, as Antoine turned it over. A nice trap that time by Green and Alexander.
Good double team pressure on the ball. Didn't give up even though Indiana State was across the floor, or across half court in that 3/4 court press. Really stayed with it, and were able to come away with a turnover.
Indiana State, by the way, went 7 minutes and 19 seconds between field goals from the last 8 minutes of the first half to the first minute here of the second half. And there are only points coming on free throws. Now Green draws another foul. That'll be the 3rd against Indiana State on the half. And we'll see who they whistled against. Marcus, nope, it'll be on Antoine. Wilfred Antoine. And that's his first foul. So long scoring droughts, which sometimes the Redbirds have been victim to this year. They did it on Indiana State there the last 8 minutes of the opening half. Alexander around a screen, 3-ball up and good.
Great screening action that time by the Birds. First had Alexander screening, get Arnold inside down to the block, and then Bojang screening for Arnold or for Alexander to get him out for the 3-point shot.
And another turnover. The Redbird pressure causing the turnover at half court. That'll be the 10th on the Sycamores for the game.
And this is the most pressure I've seen out of the Redbirds on a three-quarters court, trying to create some steals out of defensive pressure in a press-type situation, and they've come away with the last two for the Redbirds.
Kicked ball out of bounds by Moss. It's a 10-point Illinois State lead, the largest of the game, 34-24. We're just 4 minutes into this second half. Kurt Pegler and Matt Taphorn with you here on WMBD News Channel 31. The Redbirds looking for their third consecutive home victory, and it would be their third win in 4 games if they could get it against the Sycamores, who are still looking for their first road win of the season.
There's Marcus Howard getting his hand on the ball again. He's just very athletic, trying to guard Greg Alexander on the floor. Alexander was able to free himself up last time down for the big three.
Well, Howard was a member of the all-defensive team in the Valley last year, and you may as well put his name down there right now. Don't pencil it in, put it in ink. He's going to be there for sure this year. Bojang on the back door from Alexander, in trouble. We're on a double team, and it might be a
3-second
yep,
call.
It was. It was a violation, a 3-second call as Bojang was pinned down low, and he couldn't do anything about it in the lane. 15:51 to go here in the ball game. Illinois State with its largest lead of the afternoon, 10 points, 34-24 over Indiana State.
AirTran Airways from the Central Illinois Regional Airport at Bloomington Normal, the only airline in Central Illinois offering affordable airfares, full-size jets, and business class upgrades. Find out more at www.cira.com or 1-800-AirTran.
Channel 31, the Peoria Rivermen, and the American Cancer Society are teaming up to help fight cancer with the Workplace Giving Program. Companies that call to schedule a Workplace Giving presentation will receive free admission for employees to a Rivermen game.
I believe as employers that it's important to help my employees who want to help a charity.
For more information about the Workplace Giving Program, call the American Cancer Society at 688-3488.
AirTran Airways from the Central Illinois Regional Airport at Bloomington Normal, the only airline in Central Illinois offering affordable airfares, full-size jets, and business class upgrades. Find out more at www.cira.com or 1-800-AirTran.
This copywritten telecast is presented by the authority of Illinois State University and WMBD TV and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without the express written consent of Illinois State University and WMBD Television. We've played about 4 minutes here in this second half. Redbirds with a 10-point lead, 34-24, showing some backcourt pressure again on the Sycamores.
Kevin Trock into the ball game now for Trey Guidry. Again, he's drawing the defensive assignment against David Moss, the outstanding freshman for the Sycamores.
Illinois State in the man-to-man defense now. Here's Antoine for 3. He hit 4 of those 3-point shots in Wednesday night's first half against Bradley. And that's his first 3 of the afternoon here.
And just too wide of an open look that time. Wolford really was able to get free from Green, and Green was slow of recovering. Open shot, was able to knock it down.
Alexander missed his open look at the basket. Back come the Sycamores now.
Alexander's a little cold here tonight after a 21-point performance against Bradley last time at home. It's only 1 out of 5 here in this ball game.
Sams drives to the basket, missed the shot. Arnold clears for the Birds, and now Vince Green picks the tempo up. Got a good screen from Arnold, who now gives it up to Trock. Trock is one of those guys who really played well off the Redbird bench lately, along with Casey Reed and Andy Strandmark, among others. And today it's been Chris Burris. And now a steal, the second of the game by Arnold. He'll go all the way down and lay it in, or Howard, I should say, Marcus Howard.
And the steal was off of the Marcus Arnold pass. Just a poor execution that time by Arnold, but a great defensive play once again by Marcus Howard.
And a near steal that time as Trock was almost picked from behind. The Redbird lead, which at one time was 10, is now down to 5.
The Sycamores have started to pick up their defensive pressure once again.
Oh, and a big three by Alexander. He shot it right in front of the Redbird bench.
Great inside-out action that time as Arnold was able to get the ball back out to Alexander. He was able to square up and knock down the big three.
Alexander's 2 field goals have both been three-point shots. He had 6. And now Antoine tries to answer, and he can, and Arnold clears for the Birds. Arnold now with 5 rebounds on the afternoon.
Bojang really trying to get inside position against Morris. Good pass back.
And a give and go to Arnold, but he walked. If he puts that ball down on the floor, the Redbirds have a basket. And now Chris Burris will enter the game with Dana Ford. A pair of Redbird freshmen come in, and Indiana State sends Jared Adler in the game. He'll replace Jake Sams.
Good awareness that time by Arnold as he got the ball down into Bojang, but just didn't get the execution. Good pass down the lane from Bojang as he was being double-teamed on the block.
So the Redbirds have Trock, Green, Ford, Burris, and Bojang on the floor right now. Indiana State has Antoine, Howard, Moss, Morris, who has just checked into the ball game, and Jared Adler, who's also just checked in. We've played 6.5 minutes here in the second half. Redbirds with a 37-29 lead. That's going to be an over-the-back call against Kevin Trock.
Yeah, Trock was just a step slow that entire sequence down on the defensive end. As David Moss came off the back screen into the lane, Trock was trying to get the ball from over his back and was whistled for the foul.
And Marcus Howard goes to the Sycamores bench. He gets a breather, and Matt Rorman, the three-point shooting specialist, comes in. Hey, he shot a 2 that time, not a 3, only his 4th two-point effort of the year. It comes up short, though. Ford almost walked. Did he walk? Yep. He couldn't quite keep that pivot foot down. Tom Richardson not too happy with that call.
Tom's trying to plead his case over there. I wasn't so sure that Ford didn't have his pivot foot established and didn't drag it, even though he took one long step as he was trying to get the ball down the floor.
Antoine working on Trock, drives the baseline, got a seam in the defense, missed the shot, ball still loose, and Trock goes and gets.
The Birds getting in a little bit of mismatch problems after they come out of their three-quarter court pressure. They aren't really matching up with the man that they're really designed to guard, and that's creating some opportunities for the Sycamores. They just haven't been able to take advantage of them.
Casey Reed is at the scorer's table, and he'll check in the next whistle. Redbirds with the basketball, an 8-point lead. Bojang drives, draws a foul before the shot.
I believe it'll be underneath on the drive against Antoine. And again, Bojang really looking to score in this situation. That time fouled by both Antoine and Morris on the play, but I believe the foul will go against Antoine.
And Antoine picks up his second foul. It's the 4th on the Sycamores in the half. And Casey Reed is in the ball game. He replaces Dana Ford. Now Andy Strandmark is going to check in for the Birds, too. Here's Trock, pump fake around a screen from Burris. Step inside, hit a shot blocked that time as the taller Adler came out and caused all kinds of trouble. Ball is out of bounds to the Redbirds.
All right, ill-advised shot that time by Trock. Coming off the screen, but a good recovery that time by Adler. Getting his hand up on the shot, was able to block it. Fortunately for the Redbirds, it goes off of the Sycamores' foot, out of bounds. Redbirds maintain possession.
So we approach the 12-minute mark now. Redbird lead again is 8, 37-29. Here's Chris Burris, who's had a terrific game. Missed his first shot of the second half. He scored 8 first-half points.
And the lone starter in the game right now for the Redbirds is Vince Green. Again, you see that depth for the Redbirds, trying to get some players in off the bench.
And it's going to be a violation, a step on the baseline that time called against David Moss. Happened right in front of official Ron Burkholz. So the Redbirds will take over after the 11th Sycamore turnover. 11:47 to go in regulation. The Redbirds lead the Sycamores 37-29.
Ted Turner Pictures presents an extraordinary story from the creators of Gettysburg. A film as heroic in scale as the events and the people on which it is based. Jeff Daniels, Stephen Lang, and Robert Duvall as Robert E. Lee.
You will come home.
A true story of the Civil War.
The rest is in God's hands.
Gods and Generals. Directed by Ron Maxwell. Rated PG-13. Starts February 21st.
Why Amish-made furniture?
Handcrafted solid oak furniture. It's solid value at an affordable price from your neighbors at Whitaker's Country Oak Shop in Hudson, Illinois. Whitaker's chooses only the best home furnishings from over 70 Amish craftsmen to fill their 20,000 square foot showroom. It's beauty that will last a lifetime. For the largest selection of Amish-made furniture in the Midwest, stop by Whitaker's Country Oak Shop in Hudson, Illinois, just 5 minutes from Normal.
World class. It's the kind of heart care you always get at Methodist, one of America's top-rated hospitals for hearts. And now we're taking excellence to a higher level by partnering with Arizona Heart Institute, a world pioneer in cardiovascular research. Specialists from Methodist and Arizona Heart collaborate on the newest procedures and research. So come to the hospital that leads the way in caring for your heart and makes a world of difference for you and your family. Methodist, centered on world-class heart care, centered on you.
Back at Redbird Arena, Illinois State leads Indiana State 37-29. Kurt Pegler, Matt Taphorn with you here on WMD News Channel 31. Illinois State will start this sequence with the basketball. Casey Reed, Vince Green, Greg Alexander, Andy Strandmark, and Chris Burris are the 5 on the floor for the Redbirds.
Birds really looking to try to get something going offensively. They've got 16 turnovers in the ball game now, and there's 17 right there. Vince Green trying to make that pass one-handed into the post instead of getting two hands on the ball. That's 6 turnovers in the ball game for Vince Green.
Morris spinning, and Andy Strandmark played good defense that entire sequence.
He did, not to pick up a foul, and also went after the rebound strong, was able to come away for the Redbirds.
Now it's Strandmark on the offensive end, and he drew a foul that time. That'll be the 5th team foul whistled against Indiana State and the 3rd against Wilfred Antoine, if it's indeed on him, and it is.
And Antoine didn't necessarily agree with referee Ron Burkholz in that situation and kind of put his hands up in the air, and Burkholz put his whistle in his mouth, and so Antoine immediately put his hands back to his side.
And so the senior from Geneseo, Andy Strandmark, to the foul line. Strandmark really played a big factor in Saturday's victory over Bradley. And he said earlier this week, after not really getting a whole lot of minutes at Wichita, he said, you know what, when Boo Bojang is playing as well as he did on the road, and Babakar had 21 points in that game, he said, I don't mind salvaging those minutes. He was really upfront about it, and he was really a team player. He said, I don't need those minutes if Bojang's going to have 21 points.
Well, in the game against Bradley, Bojang did not score and was somewhat injured in that game, but he really came out strong against Wichita. Just didn't get a lot of help from the rest of the team.
Here's Moss, who's been held scoreless here in the second half. Casey Reed is on him. Nice pump fake that time, and there's going to be a foul against Illinois State as Adler drew contact.
Boy, I really have to question that call. Adler really just lowered his shoulder right into Burris. Burris put his chest right in. Let's see if we can get a good angle here. Burris, yeah, he's moving his feet, but the contact was in the chest. And Burris, you could see at the end of the play, had his fist in the air, really thinking he had drawn the charge, and went against him on that situation. And Indiana State will get possession out of bounds, it looks like, unless they're going to try to call this a 2-shot foul. Boy, I really question that call.
Discussing it right now, and it appears that they are going to award free throws here.
Well, I don't understand that. The foul was on the drive before he was able to even get the ball up to the basket.
Well, it's not the most popular decision of the day at Redbird Arena, that's for sure. But Adler misses the first free throw. Brian Geeson will check back in now, and he'll replace Ted Morris. So Morris is in the ballgame along with Antoine and Broerman and Moss. And Adler's at the foul line, and he makes his second free throw, and it's an 8-point game, 38-30 in favor of Illinois State.
And Burris seems to have garnered a little bit more attention on the offensive end for the Redbirds in this half.
That's him with the basketball. He lost the dribble. He's looking for help. His pass was almost stolen by Moss and knocked out of bounds. And that was a situation where Burris was in trouble. He'd already lost his dribble, and he didn't know what to do with the basketball.
Yeah, he picked his dribble up after only one dribble. Really didn't gain any ground doing that. And then just a poor pass that time trying to hit Vince Green in underneath the basket.
David Moss, you see, going to the bench, and Marcus Howard is back in. Missed shot is corralled by Strandmark, who stuck the offensive board back in.
I tell you, Strandmark knew when Burris was going to shoot that ball. He went straight to the bucket, was able to get inside position and get the ball and put it back up and in for 2.
Earlier this week, I thought it was very interesting that Strandmark has said that Tom Richardson, the head coach, has made several comments the last couple of years that you can make an entire career out of the last half of your senior year. And he was hoping that maybe he would, be able to apply for that. If he has a good second half of his senior year, would be a nice feather in his cap after a 4-year career at Illinois State. Marcus Howard is going to be an offensive or defensive goaltending against Burris. Nice cut to the basket by Howard.
Yeah, and that was another one of those mismatched situations that time. Again, coming out of the press, the three-quarters court press, the Birds don't necessarily line up or match up with the guy they were assigned to. That time you had Casey Reed against Marcus Howard, and Alexander was guarding Broerman. The switch on the defensive end might be a better matchup for the Birds.
And Guidry and Alexander are now back in for the Redbirds, so Tom Richardson is going small once again with essentially his 3 guards out there in Green, Alexander, and Guidry. Strandmark faked the pass, drove to the basket and scored, and drew a foul.
There, count the basket and give him a charge on that play, but the ball was out of his hands. I really don't understand how you can call a foul after that. A lot of times they're letting that foul go, but see, Strandmark really takes the ball to the basket strong, but the foul is after the ball's out of his hands already. The basket's good. They're going the other way. Strandmark's looking confused at the free throw line. He's assuming he's getting a three-point opportunity.
He's at the free throw line. You're right. He thought that he was going to be awarded a foul there, and then finally they sorted it out and said, no, Andy, we're going to give you the basket, but we're also going to charge you with a foul.
You got to like the aggressive move that time by Strandmark, taking from the top of the key all the way around and getting the 2-point basket.
Second foul on Strandmark for the game, 3rd on the half for the Redbirds. And a pivot move by Morris is no good. It tipped back up. It's no good that time by Adler. Ball is on the floor. Chris Burris tried to scrum it out of there, and he gets it, but an alternating possession is going to be the Sycamores.
And again, that was a situation where the Birds out of that three-quarter court press did not match up. You had Strandmark out on the floor guarding Broerman instead of inside guarding Morris, and when the shot was up and even on the floor, Strandmark was still out on the perimeter. So the Birds have to do a better job of coming out of that press and the pressure they've been creating against Indiana State and matching up better. Good recovery that time by Green underneath.
Broerman's 3 is no good, and Strandmark a rebound. And Andy now has 7 rebounds on the afternoon. Burris snapped the pass down to Alexander. Didn't appear that Greg was ready for it, so now it's Strandmark. Pump fake at the line. Dish down low to Burris.
Strandmark's got all the game today, doing the rebounding, the baskets. Nice pass inside, and Burris now with double figures at 10 points.
That is a new career high for Burris, the freshman from Chicago Leo. And a nice basket down low as Ted Morris was left alone.
And Burris almost got his hands on that, was able to create the steal, but just a little late on the play and the easy lay-in for the Sycamores.
And the Illinois State 12-point lead now has been cut to 10 at 44-34, under 8 minutes to go here in this basketball game. Yeah, Strandmark, you can see as he runs the floor much more aggressive. And Green hits the pull-up jump shot.
Well, it was a tough shot. Antoine was right in his face, got his hand up on the ball even. Green was just able to float it up higher and knock it down.
So Vince Green, after a 10-point first half, now is scoring here in the second half. Picked it back up. Now Broerman for 3. Missed again and tipped out. Alexander controls it. Had to throw it back in out of bounds because he was losing his footing.
Yeah,
and there are going to be some free throws coming for Adler.
You cannot throw the ball in underneath your own basket defensively. You see Alexander, he's got to get that ball out or just throw it away, but you cannot throw it in underneath your basket. A good foul that time, making Adler earn the free throws or earn the points from the free throw line. But again, you got to get the ball out from underneath your own basket.
So 2-shot free throw now coming for Adler, who's the sophomore from Monroe, Indiana. And now Moss, who was just out for a quick breather, is back in.
And that, again, that play was created on the missed shot by Broerman. He's had a couple good open looks because the Birds are not matching up out of that press.
And officials timeout on the floor. 7:16 to go here in this basketball game. The Redbirds lead the Sycamores 46-36.
When I joined SEPCU, All I needed was a car loan. Now we've got the house, a bigger car. Seems like it's always something. But SEFCU is always right there with the right loan. It's that whole borrow smarter thing. Somehow they make it all happen without making it a hassle. Now how they do it, I don't know. But I do know why.
Take a closer look at the SUV that was named the Consumer's Digest Best Buy. It also has the best all-new interior with available third-row seating and automatic climate control. It also comes with America's #1 warranty. Introducing the 2003 XL7 from Suzuki. So get in and take a closer look at America's best value.
So call 444-4021 now or come into John Beer Suzuki in Washington today.
WMBD, Imperial Cabinets, the Mattress Doctor, Dodge, and Blaine's Farm and Fleet care about keeping you and your family prepared this winter. That's why we bring you the Snow Bear Alert. Snow Bear Alerts, every day, all day on WMBD News Channel 31.
Here at Redbird Arena, Illinois State has a 46-36 lead over the Indiana State Sycamores. ISU trying to win a third consecutive home game. And the Redbirds, the schedule really for the Redbirds here, Matt, in the last month of this season, the month of February here, the remaining months, favors them as far as their home schedule is concerned.
And they're really going to dictate their own position in the postseason tournament down in St. Louis, the Missouri Valley Tournament, because they're facing a lot of the teams that they're in contention with right at the end of the year.
Marcus Howard is going to be whistled for a foul. He trailed Vince Green from the second part of half court all the way down, trying to get him from behind, but instead he's whistled for the foul.
Again, he was trying to add to that steal total, and Vince Green didn't really see him coming. Really, nobody was warning Vince he was coming either, and Green turned right into Howard at the last moment to pick up the foul.
Redbirds are now in the bonus after that foul from the 7-minute mark on. Guidry's pass is tipped and controlled that time by Ted Morris, so another steal for Indiana State, and the 19th Redbird turnover this afternoon.
And they're really keeping Indiana State in this ball game because of those turnovers.
And Howard's three is no good. Strandmark had the ball knocked out of his hands, but he hustles it and saves it to Green.
Great hustle play that time by Strandmark. Really came away with possession as the ball was knocked out of his hands on the rebound opportunity.
He trailed the play, missed a short shot. Out of bounds to the Redbirds, though, as Burris had it in his hands, and it was knocked out of his hands by Marcus Howard.
Andy really thought he had that one to go down, and the coaching staff's looking at him like, don't shoot that.
He's really feeling it right now. He's had 8 rebounds along with his 6 points, and Strandmark has really just played a nice, solid game off the Redbird bench. You're not going to count on him for 20 points by any means, but he's really given the Redbirds a lift, and there's a jumper from the outside by Alexander.
And again, that was that back screen, down screen action as Alexander back screened in to get Burris down on the block, and then Strandmark with the down screen was able to free up Alexander just momentarily to get that shot off.
And he comes away with a steal now. Flip ahead to Vince Green. It's a foot race to the basket. Green wins it and lays it in.
And that was all created by Greg Alexander, the awareness that they've got for David Moss on the floor. Alexander was right on top of him on the play and came away with the steal.
Here's Morris backing in on Strandmark, draws a double team, kick out to Howard. His 3 ball is up off the back of the rim, no good. And it's Vince Green that comes down with it.
And that's 2 out of 13 in the ball game for the Sycamores from 3-point range. They have not been able to knock down those shots like they did against Bradley the other night.
Yeah, they made 9 3-point baskets in the first half alone on Wednesday night. Nice backdoor look from Alexander, to Alexander from Strandmark.
And again, Strandmark's doing it all. He's got 2 assists now. That's a pretty big point guard at 6'11", making those passes from the top of the key.
And Royce Waltman wants a timeout. Well, when you say that he's a pretty big point guard, you're right. When you're 6'11" and you're out of the perimeter, you can see the defense.
Absolutely, and really no pressure out on the ball anyway, and it really shouldn't be. You shouldn't be guarding a 6'11" guy from out there, but a good back cut that time by Alexander was able to free him up. And now Alexander has 10 points in the ball game after being held scoreless in the first half.
And the Redbirds are now shooting 55% from the floor. They're 22 of 40. So despite turning the basketball over 19 times, when the Redbirds are shooting it, it's going in.
And the Sycamores really struggle to score offensively if their perimeter game is not on. The guys they have out there that can put some points on the board, Moss Howard, even Antoine, and to some extent Broerman, when he comes on the floor, just aren't getting it done. Broerman's 0 for 3 from three-point range. Howard's 0 for 5, only 2 out of 10 in the ball game, and the 2 he's made have been kind of layups off of steal opportunities. So they've really struggled, and David Moss has really been held in check here the second half.
Well, the effort that the Redbirds are putting forth this afternoon, Illinois State is we'll remind you that our next televised game is March the 1st. Again, these two teams meeting in Terre Haute. It'll be a 1 o'clock game on the 1st of March. ISU and ISU. Hope you'll join us then. To complete my thought, the Redbirds, in this most recent streak when they've been playing well, say their last 5 games, they're averaging about 78 points a game. Now, they're not going to get there likely this afternoon with just 52 points, but you look at the defense, they've held the Sycamores to just 36.
It's an outstanding defensive effort. And don't discredit Indiana State. I mean, they've beaten some very formidable opponents this year, one being Illinois Chicago, the other being Evansville. They beat both those teams by nearly 20 points. Evansville, they won by 26 points at home early in the year, and that's a team that's beaten the Birds already this year. So they've got the ability. Just lately, they've kind of run into a roadblock with an 8-game losing streak.
Moss underneath flips it up and in. It's his first points of the second half. Moss had 11 in the first half, give him 13 on the game now. Casey Reed's in the game now. That's
good patience that time by Vince Green, pulling it out, not forcing the issue. That time he threw it off of Bojang's head, though.
Alexander looking for help. The Redbirds have their original starting 5 minus Guidry in the game, and Arnold may have walked. He did. So the Redbird 5 on the floor is the 5 that started the game, with the exception of Trey Guidry on the bench and Casey Reed in.
Well, I didn't see that travel that time either. I thought Arnold had both feet, but he moved the second foot, his back foot, just prior to the shot, and I think that's what the official saw as the travel.
Here's Moss, pivots, kicks it off. Morris was blocked from behind and out of bounds to the Sycamores.
Casey Reed might have got his hand on that ball as well, and I thought Morris actually had traveled before he got to the bucket.
Well, the Redbirds are contesting every shot in the paint, and they've held now Indiana State to just 33% from the field, 14 of 42. Terrific defensive effort this afternoon by the Redbirds. Here's Morris, or I should say, yeah, that's Moss from the outside of 3.
And again, Moss just in a situation where he's getting some good looks now. Birds were doing a good job defensively, and they've kind of lost track of him a couple of times, and you can't let a guy that can score like him get those good looks.
And Moss, who averages 12 points a game, has 16 now for the Sycamores, and we have told you since the second we signed on, he is perhaps the best-looking freshman in this Missouri Valley Conference this year, and he's living up to his billing here this afternoon. 4 minutes to go in the basketball game. Redbirds with a basketball and a 52-41 lead. And there's a whistle away from the basketball.
Adler's going to get whistled for a foul. A lot of action going on inside. You see the disappointment on his face, but he and Marcus Arnold were banging around inside, and Arnold's going to get to the foul line for a 1 and bonus opportunity.
And so Arnold to the free throw line, held to just 2 points in the game at Wichita, and just 4 points this afternoon.
Nice release inside. I'm really impressed with Arnold with the way he can shoot the ball facing the basket. And that's really going to help him in his development in his career at Illinois State, make him more of a threat offensively.
Now, the Redbirds' recruiting class for this year was considered in the top 25 in the country. We've seen some flashes from Chris Burris. We've seen some flashes from Dana Ford and from Marcus Arnold. Redbirds with a 13-point lead, under 4 minutes left.
Carrier's Weathermaker Infinity is the world's most totally efficient gas furnace. With our exclusive Comfort Heat technology, it can save you up to 40% on your home heating costs.
Start saving today. Call your Carrier dealer in Bloomington. Mayo Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. For quality products and services, it's Mayo Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. 715 East Empire in Bloomington. Call 828-7906.
Carrier, 100 years of innovation.
Ever
ever think what would happen to your pets if something happened to you? The ASPCA already has. They have everything that you need to know about emergency pet preparedness right on their website. And remember, there is no better friend you can have than a pet you adopt at a local animal shelter. If you love animals as much as I do, you will want them to have a long and happy life. Right, Chelsea?
This is my country. These are my people. This is the world I understand.
It's not just talking about service. It's really knowing the people we serve.
I know them like the back of my own hand.
Country Insurance and Financial Services. Real people, real answers, real quick.
3:56 left here at Redbird Arena, Illinois State, with a 13-point lead. It's 54-41, a special weekend here at Illinois State where the university is honoring its female letter winners with a banquet tonight. Since prior to 1989, female letter winners never really received a letter. They got a little pin or something, but they never really got a letter. Now they're going to get their female letter winners, and at halftime they had better than 200 past female letter winners on the floor here at halftime, and it was just a wonderful sight to see, and it's just a special weekend here in Normal.
Great recognition and good gesture by the administration at Illinois State University. Long overdue.
Casey Reed guarded by Howard. The pass intended for Strandmark was tipped out, and a steal for the Sycamores.
That's the 20th turnover now by the Redbirds, and they're still up by 13.
Morris's double team kick out to Antoine. His shot is good, and they're going to give him three.
And Green just turned his head, didn't see his man at all, and Antoine just set up good inside-out action. Green just wasn't aware where his guy was.
And it's back to a 10-point game, and a near steal that time by Howard, but it's off of Alexander and out of bounds. So Marcus Howard is again showing the reason why he's considered one of the top defenders in the league. Active hands, and he was certainly responsible for that turnover. This game is far from over, folks. It's a 10-point game with plenty of time to go. Still 2:50 and counting. Strandmark with the nice hands, knocked it out of bounds, and the pass was intended for Ted Morris.
And Indiana State again was credited with a steal on that play, so it's 13 steals in the ball game now, unofficially, for the Sycamores.
Here's Moss working on Alexander. Down the lane. Blocked by Greg Alexander. Stuck with him the entire time.
Boy, and Alexander, as he was falling down, was able to tip the ball back to Bojang to maintain possession for the Birds, or get possession for the Birds. Great defensive effort that time by Alexander.
What an effort. Under 2.5 now to go. Strandmark left open. 17-footer. No good. Out of bounds to the Sycamores. Adler that time and Bojang were both going for the ball, and they ruled that it's off of Bojang and out of bounds.
Tom Richardson just kind of throws his hands up and says, Andy, I thought we said we don't want you shooting that shot.
Antoine walks the ball up the floor. Again, it's a 10-point Illinois State lead. Here's Howard. Now Morris immediately draws a double team. He's in trouble. Kicks it back out, and they try to swing it around. Howard, pull-up jumper is short. Morris, the board. He puts it back up. He can't get it. Strandmark fighting for it, and it's going to be out of bounds and a foul on the Sycamores.
I'll tell you, really credit Strandmark on that play for not giving up. He did a good job of bodying him up defensively here initially. And as the shot goes up, he's got good position. It just goes long. But then as Morris goes up again, he's able to corral the rebound and draw the foul.
So one in bonus for Illinois State. Casey Reed comes in for Trey Guidry. So a few more inches in height brought into the game with Reed. And Strandmark, who shoots 61% from the foul line, has a 1-and-1. Andy has averaged 6 rebounds a game for the last 3 games. He's at 9 right now, so an opportunity for a double-figure rebounding performance. And how about Casey Reed? Check into the game, and off the missed free throw, tap it back out.
That's good coaching, just a good substitution there.
And so now the Redbirds will try to run a little clock here as we're under 2 minutes to go, and Illinois State with the basketball on a 10-point advantage. Here's Reed.
And great awareness by the Birds. A mismatch inside. You had Antoine trying to guard Reed in there, and Reed's probably got 7 inches. Reed, great job at just catching and shooting right away.
And the Birds were very patient. They spread out the floor and got an easy shot down low. It's a 12-point lead. Under 90 seconds to go. Loose ball on the floor. Who wants it? Marcus Howard comes up with it. He penetrates, and it's going to be a foul on Reed.
Strandmark trying to be the official out there, looking at Ron Burkholz asking for the charge, but Reed certainly did try to move in against Howard as he's driving to the basket.
Record foul number 40, Casey Reed, that's his first.
So Reed draws the foul, and the fifth on the Redbirds. Howard, who had only missed one free throw in the past 14 games at the start of the day, has already missed one here this afternoon. He's just 1 out of 2 from the free throw line. He's a 79% free throw shooter. But it's a headline-grabbing item when he misses a free throw. So Reed goes out and Guidry comes back in. And so Marcus Howard, who played high school basketball with University of Illinois guard Sean Harrington in Elgin, makes both of his free throws, and it's back to a 10-point spread, 56-46. Howard now with 7 points on the afternoon.
Birds at this point with a minute to play and up by 10 should be content to just take some time off the clock and wait and allow the Sycamores to commit a foul and send them to the line. And it doesn't appear that the Sycamores are very interested in doing just that.
5 on the shot clock. Green penetrates. Lost the ball. And it's Moss that comes away with it. Now back in the front court. Here's Antoine. He'll probably shoot the 3. He does. And it goes down. Not afraid at all to shoot the triple. And a timeout called by Royce Waltman. It's a 7-point game with 41.6 seconds to go.
And Vince Green going to the bucket had the angle as the pressure came over. Just, you know, out of control, wasn't able to dump it off to Bojang, who was underneath the basket. A little soft pass would have allowed him to do that. Again, that 3-point shot by Antoine as Green was down on the floor at the other end. He wasn't able to recover and guard his man, and Greg Alexander was late recovering on the play. And a big shot that time by Antoine pulls the Sycamores within 7 points.
And Antoine now with 3 trays here, all in the second half. He had just 2 points at halftime, but now has 11 on the game. And as Matt says, it is a 7-point game. It's 56-49. Now the Redbirds are a better free throw shooting team than Indiana State, and you know it's going to come down to free throws. But I was a little puzzled why the Sycamores didn't try to foul a little earlier on that last right Illinois State possession.
Well, I mean, you look at it, there's still 42 seconds left. Now would be the situation where you'd want to foul. So and they're only down by 7, so probably a good strategy in that situation by Royce Waltman and the Sycamores not to foul.
Well, certainly they will pick up the Redbirds at full court and make Illinois State play 94 feet here. Kevin Trock is in the game now, so the Birds have their free throw shooting unit on with Trock, Alexander, Trey Guidry, who will inbound, Green, and Strandmark. And the pass comes into Alexander. It's knocked out of bounds again by guess who? Marcus Howard.
Yeah, he's so quick out there and just beats you to the ball. In that situation, was able to get his hands on it. He's got such long arms out there as well.
And a near steal that time. Trock is on the floor. And it's going to be a held ball going to Illinois State.
And again, Howard got his hands on that one and created that held ball tie-up situation.
And Tom Richardson wants a 30-second timeout. I don't think he was at all pleased with how the Redbirds tried to get that ball in bounds, and so maybe they'll map out a different way to get it in.
And you have 4 guards on the floor, basically with Green, Trock, Alexander, and Guidry, and just not able to get anybody screened and coming to the basketball. And Alexander taking the ball out from underneath the basket, finding a hard time getting the ball inbounds.
Now, should the Redbirds win this basketball game, as we mentioned, it would be their 3rd consecutive win at home and their 3rd win in 4 games overall. The Redbirds would have a chance to climb past Drake in the standings in the conference race, as Drake tonight is home against Evansville. Drake right now with 2 wins in the league, 2-9, just like the Redbirds. Now, Trock triggers, looking for help, gets it in to Green. No, he didn't get it in. Boy, it was a near steal that time by Moss.
It really almost was, and then he had flipped it right behind him, right to Adler. Could have pulled that within even 5 points.
And now they try the baseball pass ahead to Andy Strandmark, who goes all the way down in the strip from behind by Antoine, but there's going to be a foul on the play.
Good hustle that time by Antoine. You got to give him credit. Didn't give up on the play. Strandmark didn't really go aggressively to the basket, but a good hustle play that time by Antoine to recover, get his hands on the ball, and not allow the Birds to get an easy two.
No shots on that. So an inbounds play, and Trock hands to Strandmark, who now gives it up to Guidry, and there's a foul, or there's a whistle, and it's going to be a foul against Indiana State.
We just send Greg Alexander to the line.
Deron Evans is going to be whistled for the foul, and he just entered the game, and he's a fresh body as far as foul is concerned. That's just his first foul, so Royce Waltman puts a guy in the game that's got some fouls to give.
Yeah, actually the call was made on Trey Guidry, so send him to the free throw line.
So Trock out and Bojang in now. You've got both coaches making some substitutions pending offensive or defensive schemes here, and Guidry to the foul line where he makes the first one.
Nice follow through and staying with a shot at that time by Guidry. Guidry really having a struggling game offensively with only 2 points prior to that free throw. Big shot that time, though, to pad the lead for the Redbirds.
After 6 straight games in which Trey scored in double figures, he was held to just 8 points at Wichita, and he has just 3 here this afternoon, but he'll gladly take a win over a 3-point performance. And the Redbirds are going to get the basketball, fortunately, bounce out of bounds to Illinois State. And Tom Richardson now wants to talk things over.
Illinois State.
And he had made a defensive substitution that time, getting Casey Reed into the ball game. But in that situation, since it goes off Indiana State out of bounds, he has to keep him in the game.
The all-time series here is led by Illinois State. The Redbirds lead the Sycamores 47-38 all-time and are on the verge of winning their 3rd consecutive game in this series after Indiana State had strung together 6 straight wins prior to last year. The Redbirds sweeping both the game here and in Terre Haute. That broke a 6-game losing skid to Indiana State, and now the Redbirds are hoping to make it a 3-game win streak against Indiana State. 28.7 seconds to go. Redbirds with a basketball. It's a 57-49 Illinois State lead. Green to trigger, and he lobs it back out top. It's Casey Reed who's immediately fouled by Howard.
And that was that defensive substitution that Coach Richardson put in the game. And Casey Reed's very capable of making these free throws. He's got a good form, good stroke from the free throw line. And on the season,
just 9 out of 12, so he hasn't been to the free throw line.
75%, yeah. Is very respectable. And always a situation you want your seniors to try to take charge, and Casey Reed doing just that.
Well, Reed with a performance in the box score that's not going to, again, wow people, but he's just coming off the bench. He's giving Tom Richardson some very solid minutes. He had a discussion with the coaching staff prior to last week's game against Northern Iowa, said, you know, I still have some gas on the tank here, and I want to be a part of this team. And he's contributed off the bench. Now, Adler knocks down a 3 for the Sycamores, who immediately foul Bojang in the backcourt with 19.1 to go.
You know, what's interesting also is the team you have out there on the floor for the Redbirds right now, you have the 3 seniors, right. Strandmark, Bojang, Casey Reed, and the 2 sophomores with a lot of experience in return from last year's team, and Green and Alexander. That's not a unit that you've seen out there very much this year. So it's, you know, great to see that team out there playing together, although the freshmen in Dana Ford, Chris Burris, Marcus Arnold, and even Kevin Trock and the sophomore transfer Trey Guidry has provided valuable minutes for the Birds this year. It's great to see this unit out there finishing the ball game.
Bojang coming off that 21-point performance against Wichita State, his season high, is now trying to ice the game for the Redbirds. He splits his free throws, and Brorman gets it for the Sycamores, who certainly will try and shoot the 3. That's their man, Brorman, from way out top. Missed the 3, Strandmark the board. He hands to Alexander, and that's going to about ice it. It appears the Sycamores have thrown in the towel. There's no more fouling, and we're going to be done. The Redbirds have won 3 consecutive home games, and the final here this afternoon is Illinois State 60 and Indiana State 52. We'll step away and come back and hear from some of these Redbirds. 8-point win for Illinois State, 60-52 from Redbird Arena.
I was a nighttime prisoner in my
Final score again from Redbird Arena, Illinois State 60 and Indiana State 52. The Redbirds now improved to 4-6 16 on the season, 3-9 in the conference. And the Sycamores of Indiana State dropped to 5-16 and 1-10 in the league. Kurt Pegler, Matt Taphorn with you. The Redbirds didn't dazzle anybody today, but they got some solid performances, especially off the bench. They got 10 points from Chris Burris. They got 14 points from Vince Green, and they got out a victory over a team that strives on defense.
And again, a good effort out of Strandmark, Casey Reed, the seniors who've really stepped up their performance here in the last few games. Bojang had a solid game, but really the turnover problem that they had in this ballgame, 22 turnovers, I think they're fortunate to come away with a victory here against Indiana State. But Indiana State's defense does create a lot of that. They had 14 steals in the game. And the Birds did a much better job against David Moss in the second half.
And when the Redbirds were able to run their offense, they did shoot 55%. You're going to win a lot of basketball games if you shoot 55%.
Absolutely, and even though they score 60 points, you limit your shot opportunities with that many turnovers. But when they were getting their shot opportunities, they were taking advantage and knocking them down.
And we talked about this team trying to turn the corner, trying to get some momentum, trying to get some confidence. And it appears the Redbirds are starting to do that. They've won their last 3 home games. And it's a performance against Wichita State earlier in this week that nobody really thought was all that great, but you put that road loss behind you, you start gathering up home victories, and maybe you start making a little bit noise and trying to get out of that playing game situation on the Friday night in St. Louis.
And they have won 3 out of the last 4 games. They're starting to build some momentum here, and anytime you can get a losing streak like they had out of the way and start to create some winning attitudes and atmosphere once again, it kind of feeds upon itself, and that's what they've done. The thing I've noticed about the Birds the last few games here is they're starting to get better contributions from everybody. And that was the problem they had early on in the season, where they only get 3 guys playing well a game, and then the next game 3 different guys. And now they're starting to get 5 or 6 guys out of the 10 that are in the rotation all to play well and perform as a team.
And we mentioned the bench play again. Chris Burris scoring 10 off the bench. Andy Strandmark with 11 rebounds off the bench. Casey Reed comes in, knocks down some clutch free throws. It's those guys in the reserve roles that are really helping the Redbirds right now.
Absolutely, and we'll see if it can continue on Wednesday night at Bradley.
A victory for the Redbirds, a much-needed win as they come back from a loss at Wichita State. They've won their 3rd consecutive home game, 60-52 the final over Indiana State. We hope you enjoyed our telecast. For everyone here at Redbird Arena with our News Channel 31 crew, from Matt Taphorn, this is Kurt Pegler. Illinois State again a winner, 60-52 over Indiana State. They've won 3 straight at home. And good afternoon from Redbird Arena.